We're coming to the end of the 19th ITS World Congress. And looking back, what are the lessons we've learned and what's going to happen in the future? You want to find out? Join us after the break. Well, welcome back. Jason Barnes, Technology Editor of ITS International. See you feverishly looking through the final edition of the dailies. So for you, ITS World Congress, what are the lessons we've learned?
I think some of the hard-won ones, in some ways some of the old ones, which is that the technology is there to do anything that we want to do. Sure, the technology will get better, power needs will reduce, battery lives will increase, data will carry on becoming more and more of a commodity rather than an expensive asset. What we really need, though, is a greater concentration on the policy, iron out the last of the standards, get the business cases in place, and actually get on and deploy this stuff. So the element that's missing for me isn't so much the technology, that's old hat, it's political courage.
But are governments on message? We've heard in the UK, for example, where the governments have said that the technology is not quite ready for some of the major projects. I'm joined by Per Ecker at Q3. Per, what's your take on the way governments see the technology, and is it ready?
I think that the governments around have a little bit too strong political focus and not a technical focus. And actually our technology have been proven for like 10 to 15 years already. Also in kind of environmental environments like urban congestion charging, electronic tolling highways, and also for other ATMS applications that comes on top of this now, like parking access and electronic number plates, and a series of different applications that you can put on top of this technology now.
So one of the big challenges with urban charging, for example, is the amount of space that you take up in order to get the equipment in. But you're showing something different here at the show, aren't you?
For sure, we are showing something completely different, and we have merged everything into a single gantry, which we have demonstrated over here.
Let's have a look.
Yeah. So what you can see here is actually a lot of well-known technologies, just brought together a little bit different than we did before. And it's all controlled by a new layer of softwares and a little bit different philosophy, how we do the tolling and how we get the accuracy and how we get it into this one pole solution.
Now this doesn't just do enforcement, does it? This is tolling and enforcement. It's multi-use, is it?
This is what we call a multi-lane free flow. It can be used for enforcement with the cameras and also classification and the radios, but this is a full-blown multi-lane free flow for tolling as well.
Tolling systems are only as effective as the enforcement technology that lies behind them. Daniel Oltz from EFCON. Where is the enforcement technology going now?
Yeah, here at the ITS show we are promoting our EFCON enforcement solution, our different solutions, because a tolling system is as good as its control or its enforcement. Yeah? And therefore here you can see that our different solutions from stationary enforcement to portable enforcement, also to mobile enforcement. Yeah, here you can see our portable enforcement system. This is a toll enforcement system. This is used in Germany, and it's very easy to set up. Yeah, and there's also a good combination between the portable enforcement solution than with the mobile enforcement solution. Yeah, there's a direct link, and then you can monitor maybe, for example, on a highway bridge with the portable system and send directly this data into the car, into the vehicle, and maybe then afterwards to the back office. Yeah, we read out the DSRC data from the different, maybe let's say in Germany, of the truck tolling system. Yeah, if there's the right onboard unit in the car, for example. Yeah. And then we check this with our solution.
So the technology is working, but are the governments actually backing it? We're going to talk to Scott Belcher, the CEO and president of ITS America, about his relationships with the government there.
Well, I think at the federal level, what we've seen is that the United States government is really the driving force behind connected vehicles in the United States. They realize that they've got to do the basic research that enables private companies then to take it over. They realize that they need to be engaged in setting international standards and harmonizing international standards. It, as well as we're going to do in this Congress, we've got a 2-year period now that we're going to be working towards reauthorization of MAP 21, our new legislation. And we're going to be doing that at the same time that we're deploying, or that USDOT is deploying, all the changes that it made. The other thing that I think is that I'm not sure that we can expect a whole lot more investment from the federal government, especially in the United States in the fiscal environment that we're in. So we're going to have to rely more increasingly on new business models. Business models will be driven by the private sector and public-private partnerships. And that's where I think the future of ITS and the future success will happen in the United States.
So Scott Belcher, happy with the relationship ITS America has with the US government. But what about in Europe? Well, one government minister that we know is really pushing hard and will be hosting the next ITS Europe convention is Alan Kelly, the Transport Minister of Ireland. That convention is going to be in Dublin, and at the moment they're holding a party just over the aisle from me now. I'm going to try and get in. You know, the Irish, they can throw a great party. Let's try and battle in there.
ITS is something that's very central to all the work we do in the Department of Transport and broader fields. I want to encourage as many of you as possible to come along to Dublin. And of course, I'm not just talking about the conference, but also about the fact that we'll have a fantastic time in Dublin. It's a great city, and we'll ensure you'll get 100,000 miles there.
The conference in Dublin is on the 4th to 7th of June next year. It's in one of the best cities in the world. It'll be a great congress, and I can assure you you'll have an absolutely fantastic time.
So this event has seen a lot of parties, and not surprisingly, because networking is incredibly important at these ITS World Congresses. Now, there were 300 different exhibitors from 95 countries here. So that means there's a lot of international relationships carried out here at this event. Let's ask them what they thought about it.
I think it's the feverish networking here in Austria.
I think the most important thing, or the biggest challenge certainly, is getting people like central government, local authorities, major policy makers to be more innovative in their thinking.
I think the show has been an outstanding success in regards to showing the harmonisation and collaboration that's happening between Ertico, the US and Asia Pacific.
It is a very good and successful congress, and a good organization and a good platform to recognize so many new friends, partners and system integrators.
We are very impressed this year by the show. We have seen, compared to the other years, that we really have decision makers this year at the show.
It's been excellent. The one thing that we have noticed as ITS Canada is that there is a lot more talk about deployment and projects.
So far, I think it's great to the people who is involved in the ITS business are gathering in one place from all over the world.
I saw a lot of stands, a lot of very interesting things this year. So I think it's one of the best World Congress and I've ever participated in.
Well, we're going to be heading to Japan. In October 2013 is the place for us. So from us, until then, thank you for watching and goodbye.